I just got done watching episode 1 of Seret Invasion. This is going to be a full spoiler review for the brand new Marvel Studios show starring the likes of Nick Fury, Samuel Jackson himself. And this is a show that when it was originally announced, I kind of rolled my eyes. And I rolled my eyes more for the sake of, yeah, it's cool that Nick Fury's finally getting his own concept and his own show, but Seret Invasion is a huge comic. And this is a comic that feels like it should be an Avengers level type movie. But sometimes the comics, can be adapted in a better way. And when I saw the trailer at San Diego Comic-Con, I was absolutely blown away by it. I said, okay, this show has me hooked, lined, and synced in. I'm all ready for this. And here we are now. Seret Invasion's first episode might be my favorite first episode of a Marvel Studios show. And I think, again, I will take full credit on this. A lot of the times, their first episodes can take us back, pull us in, make us excited, then by like episode 4, we're kind of over it. Or by then, it's becoming a little bit of a mess. And I think a lot of us can say that this Marvel Studios experiment hasn't really gone in the best route, at least for TV. Some of the shows I think are excellent, some of the shows are a little bit lackluster, but none of them have carried that oomph. Except Loki. I think Loki was like near perfect. But so far, if we are on the right trajectory, this will be the best Marvel Studios show. And I am absolutely taken back by this. And again, we're going to talk full spoilers, so if you are new here, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button every week at midnight. The second these episodes drop, we will be watching them. We will be coming out with a review. I love doing this for each and every one of you guys, because if you're just as crazy as me to stay up till past midnight, then you're awesome. And now, if you're just waking up and you're starting your day with Seret Invasion, that's awesome too. So let's dive into this episode again. I'm not going to recap every little bit, but I am going to jump into some of my favorite tidbits of the show. And I love, first off, that this Marvel series is absolutely giving us hour-long episodes, pretty much. And right off the bat, the cold opening of Martin Freeman coming in as Ross, going into that one place and then ending up killing that guy. The second that happened, because at first I was like, oh, is this guy a Skrull? And he's like giving up his people. No. Ross was a Skrull. Now, I don't believe that was actually Ross, to be honest. I think that's just a different, like a Skrull taking over him. I could be wrong on that, but that already kicks off that anyone that we've met in the MCU, no matter how minor of a character, could potentially be a Skrull. And I really love how that cold opening opens, and then Talos takes him off, and he jumps off the building and dies, and Maria picks up Talos. And then, of course, Nick Fury returns to Earth. And I think for me, having that cold opening, which, can I just say, the intro to this, like the whole green thing with the theme and everything like that, it's beautiful. I love what Marvel Studios did with that. I thought it was awesome. But having Fury back, there's this sense of regret. And I think a lot of us just expect that since Fury's been gone, that it's more just, oh, he's just creating a new base up in space. But there is more to that. There is more reasons to why he hasn't been on Earth. There's more reasons to what he's been doing. And I think Seret Invasion is going to dive deeper into that, because just in this first episode, we get a sense of regret. We get a sense of brokenness. And that's something that the blip very much did to Nick Fury. And just in some of the flashbacks, like the instance of when he's thinking back to when he blipped, like that moment like brings tragedy to yourself. And I like how it's mirrored with Gravik in the second that it jumps to him staring out the window. And I really find that it's fascinating to see like that we go from Captain Marvel and like then no conversation of Skrulls all the way, and they kind of bring that up that, Nick Fury and Captain Marvel did promise them a planet, but what happens when you break that promise? What happens when some of these children who were promised that promise don't get that? Well, they grow up into Gravik. They grow up into these radicalists who want to stop and take over our own world. And you kind of have this show that's a spy espionage show, but at the same time, like, invasion of the body snatchers in a way, and this alien invasion type vibe, and even like a little bit of the X-Files in there. And I really love the thematics and the tone that they have there, and that this episode was one that, to reintroduce characters that we haven't seen in a while, but at the same time reintroduce a new threat and what is going on Earth at this time. And I actually think the way that they handled the blip in a lot of conversations leads that there's a lot of mystery there. And I'm really excited to see how that show dives into it. Even though it's only 6 episodes, with hour-long episodes so far, just in this first episode, I was really taken back by it. And, whether it's Hill and Fury's conversation in the bar, where you can feel that there's no lying between them, but he is lying for a sense of something else. And then Hill, like, kind of just going at him, like, how she feels, and, like, telling him, like, the truth. Because that's what Fury needs to feel. And it's like, you are a broken man. And everyone sees it. Talos sees it. And as well as Olivia Colman's character, which I'm very excited to see how she plays into all of this. But I am really in love with everything in this. But there is a moment in here that I really want to get to, and I'm trying to save it, but it's towards the end of the episode. Well, it's actually the very end of this episode. My mind's blown. There's no freaking way that just happened, but apparently it might have. I love to see also that Talos' daughter's back in here, played by Emilia Clarke. That was a great surprise. And seeing how, you know, she has this base of operations with Skrulls. Like, it's like kind of like the new Asgard that they introduced in Thor at the end of Thor Ragnarok. Or was it the end of Thor Ragnarok? No, it's the end of Avengers Endgame, or in Endgame it gets introduced, and then in Thor Love and Thunder it comes back. But it's kind of like that, but like for refugees, for Skrulls, and how Skrulls are brought into there, and kind of just seeing how the day-to-day goes in there. I was fascinated by that. And again, seeing Gravik, who's played by Kingsley, who is an amazing actor. If you have not seen One Night in Miami, you absolutely should. He's phenomenal in that show, or in that movie. And he's phenomenal in this show already. Just the fear and the tension and the emotion that he can just give into a blank stare in a face is so much. I always say that actors, like, they can act with their emotions, their face, their loudness, but they can talk. They got that stuff. So also diving into there, it leads us into this chase. You know, I knew once they got to that art dealer that Gia, Emilia Clarke's character, and Talos and Nick Fury were going to show up there. And of course they do, and they beat the hell out of that Skrull, and Nick Fury ends up killing the guy, and they catch up to Gia, and Talos has a heart-to-heart with her, and she ends up coming back kind of trying to figure out her sides. And did she lie to Talos? Did she not? It seems like she might have, but could have Gravik just have kind of given the wrong information? Who actually knows at this point? This is what episode 2 can bring in, because now we have that sense that did she lie to her own father and betray him even more? I like that father-daughter relationship that we're going to start getting in here as well, but it all leads into that final little tidbit. They're watching the bombs, the backpacks being held off. They're all running in different directions. This little girl staring at Nick Fury. He knows it's a Skrull. He thinks it's Gravik. He's following it, and Gravik clicks the bomb and pulls a whole terrorist attack, which is very scary because the way that this show was produced by it was terrifying. And then Gravik turns into Nick Fury and shoots and kills Maria Hill, who has been around since the first phase of Marvel. And I love Colby Smulders. I love her. Everyone loves How I Met Your Mother. She's great in that. I am honestly in disbelief. If Marvel actually killed her. Now, again, I know she's not a major character, but she is a prominent side character in the MCU. I will give them hats off, because that already set the tone and the stakes of this show. And if this is technically a pilot, I'm hook, lined, and sinkered into this. I cannot wait to watch episode 2. I definitely can't wait to see your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. So again, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. One last thing I gotta mention, I love the Nick Fury line of the week, and I might do this if he always has a great line in each episode, but when he tells the Skrull at the art gallery that they're trying to interrogate, when he goes, you know, that's one lie, no one gets two, or something like that. I'm not as good as Nick Fury. I can't remember the line, but it was a great paraphrase, and I love that moment. So again, thank you guys so much again for watching this. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and of course, until next time, stay classy.